We're going to try finding vanishing points in real life in two-point perspective now. Most students find this a little bit more difficult than 1 point, obviously. And it takes a little bit of measuring angles. And again, instead of starting off with the eye level line as we did when we were working from imagination, I'd recommend that you start off with the best drawing you can do, but keep it very, very loose, because you're almost certainly going to have to change things. In fact, I would say that is the whole point of linear perspective. It takes a decent drawing, if you have reasonably good drawing skills. It'll take that decent drawing that you can do, and it will just help you really nail the angles and get the perspective very convincing. So again, we're going to just quickly, I'm taking a very simple case here where everything is, as often happens in architecture, everything is lined up parallel to everything else. So there's no boxes sitting cattywampus or pianos perched at an angle or beds that are not lined up with the wall. It's just a bunch of architectural features that are all parallel to each other. So we're going to have basically two vanishing points. But first of all, I'm going to draw the floor. The floor is kind of a gray mass here. Whoops. That I can easily draw with the gesture. I'm going to draw that door and the window thing that's next to it. I'm going to draw that little thingamajigger that sprays water on us if we do chemical burns. And I'm going to draw the exit sign and this dark gray underside of the, I might not be able to put the edge of that on, but that's going to give me some place to draw this white wall, and then I'm going to draw this gray cabinet. Right? Okay, there's some baseboards here and so forth, but this basically is my pretty good drawing. Now, my pretty good drawing is pretty darn loose. I bet that if you just relax and free yourself up and use the side of a piece of charcoal, you can probably do a drawing like this of the corner of a room that you have at your disposal. I'm going to start with that corner there. I'm going to start with the frame of the door, in other words, and so that I know exactly where my floor ends. This time I'm inside the box. Right? So instead of drawing the near edge of the box, I've actually drawn more or less this line here, which is the farthest part of the box because we're inside the box. So that line is going to angle slightly up as it goes towards, away from eye level, I guess you'd say. And this line is going to angle slightly down, right? Now I have to either get the angle right on this one or on this one to start myself off. I think this one is a little steeper than that one. I'm going to say the angle, I'm putting a clock face over that in my imagination. I'm saying this, this one looks like it's about maybe 320 or something, about like that. And this one looks just a little bit steeper, like it's coming up towards eye level a little bit faster, but close enough probably. Okay, so I have now established vanishing points, believe it or not, on my eye level. I just don't know where my eye level is yet. I haven't put the eye level in. So I'm going to look at some objects that are actually here in the room. Like I'm going to look at the doorknob. I think the doorknob is about a little bit more than a third of the way up the door. It's about right there. Is it above or below my eye level? Well, it's below, clearly, right? Let's look at this little, this is about the edge of that white wall, say. Maybe something like that. Let's look at this little poster that's on the wall, right? It's a little bit above the doorknob. Is it above or below my eye level? Well, it's still below that, right? So I know that my eye level is going to be north of this edge, but not much, okay? Because when I walk up to this thing, if the room were to fill with water, I'd be, that thing would just barely be underwater, right? If it were to fill with water to the level of my eyeballs. That would just barely be underwater. So my eye level is going to be, I'm going to say right about here. And I'm making a point of showing you that the eye level is a real physical thing. It's the watermark when the room fills with water. You can't just put it anywhere. If you do, none of this will work, right? Okay, now that I have an eye level, and this is an imaginary line, so I'm drawing it kind of light, now I can see where the vanishing point is for this line and for everything parallel to it. Whoa, it's right there, about 3 inches off my drawing board. Way outside the drawing, but that's hardly surprising. This one is going to be even further outside the drawing. It's going to be about here, right? Because this one doesn't slant quite as extremely as this one does. That's inconvenient, but get used to it. That's where our vanishing points typically are in two-point perspective, way the heck off the page. These are easier because this one's a little bit closer. It's about right. It's about, what, 3 inches, I said, past that edge, about like that. So this poster is parallel to that line. And let's see, there's an edge here, and then there's another baseboard. It's parallel to that line, so we're going to make it go to that vanishing point. We're going to make the bottom of this poster go to that vanishing point, and the top of it go to that vanishing point, because they're all parallel. We're going to make this little thing that sticks out here that holds the exit sign go to that vanishing point, and we're going to get that for free, and we're going to get this line to go to that vanishing point, right? And you can see probably as I do this, then there's a line that goes around the corner here somehow, but which has to share this vanishing point, but we're not going to worry about that too much yet. We're just going to say this line goes to that vanishing point. You can see that I'm not being really, really careful about this, because there's no way I could be unless I attached something and drew that, you know, maybe put a pin or a ruler or something like that. But what I'm after is a feeling that all of these lines that are parallel to each other, that they all are aiming at the same vanishing point on eye level. And our eyes are really, really good at telling whether or not that is happening, right? So if there's something funny about a perspective drawing, that's going to be what it is, that lines that should be parallel are not receding to a vanishing point. Remember our rule, parallel lines, if they recede, appear to converge at a vanishing point on the eye level line. So we have to make these lines appear to converge. And I'm going to find out where this vanishing point is. Again, it's about right there, right? So that means that this thing is going to come to it. Whoa, come down, okay. There we go, this thing is going to come to it. Let's see, we already decided this thing is going to come to it, this thing is going to that one. Let's see, we can do the top of the door now. That's going to come to this one. Let's do something like this. It has a little frame, we get that line for free. This line is going to go to that one, and then this one is going to come up. This one is going to go to that one, but it's so far below. I mean, it's so close to it's so close to eye level that we don't hardly even see that extra little line. So these lines are both going to go sort of like that. This one's going to go down like that, right? So we're putting this door in. This now can go away. This line is going to. I'm drawing. I know that this line goes to eye level. I know that this one has to be parallel to it. This one is imaginary now. This is where the light comes in under the door. Let's draw that with charcoal so you can see it. Here's where the light is coming in under that door. This is that silver panel on top of the door. I mean on the bottom of the door. I can't talk and draw. You guys are clearly doing that. Right? This is that silver panel. This is the other side of the door frame. Let's darken the door frame so we can see it a little bit better. Here's that door frame. Huh? Drawing awfully fast here, but and then this door frame continues because we have to be able to show where all teeny Venetian lines are. And of course, they're going to start to angle down this way as they get below eye level, right? So here they're angling down towards eye level, and here they're angling up towards eye level, to this vanishing point, because they're parallel to these lines here. So what we're going for at this point is a feeling that things are converging at their vanishing points. We'll get away with a little bit of inconsistency, especially if the drawing looks very, very vigorous and athletic and expressive, right? Because that puts us into a context where maybe we're not going to get so picky about the vanishing points. But as you can see, even when they are rendered a little bit freely, they still give a very convincing feeling of three-dimensional space to a drawing. So let's put these baseboards in, because those look like fun. These are going to go to that vanishing point 3 inches off the side there. This little place where it bends around is going to go to this one, which is way the heck off the side. And then this one, of course, is going to go to that one 3 inches from the edge. And that one doesn't look very convincing, does it? And here's that great cabinet now. Right? This part of it is above eye level, so it has to come down. Oh, I've already drawn that line. Okay, so this is that great cabinet. Make sense? All right, and we got those vanishing points, remember, by originally picking, deciding where our verticals were going to be, or at least one that we could find, and then taking a line that went out of that vertical, just like we took a line that went out of the front of the box when I first showed you two-point perspective. This is the back of the box because we're inside of the box. We measured this angle here, we tried to get it right, and we measured this angle here, and we tried to get it right. The more accurately you get them, the better you'll place your vanishing points, the more convincing your rendition of three-dimensional space is going to be.